I am so excited to talk to you about your newest project. You're always doing so many things, but now you have a devotional coming out, and I'd love to hear, your thoughts on what was it that really drew you to want to do it.
Well, the name of my book is Be an Angel. And as you know, for many years, I played an angel on TV on the show Touched by an Angel. So angels have been near and dear to my heart for almost 30 years. For the book, of course, went back into the Bible to remind myself just how many times angels showed up and the significance and it's the wonder of being able to be a messenger and bring the message of God's love. I think there's a reference almost 300 times we read about angels in scripture. But here I wanted to remind folks that it's, for a devotional, I think it's like trying to create a habit, trying to anchor your prayer life or your spiritual life into something that you do every day. And so these were just like personal anecdotes from my life, things that I've gone through, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the losses, and things that I have learned, things that maybe I wished I'd known when I was younger, or that I wished I'd known when I was going through, because sometimes it's just the wisdom of age, that you think, you know, and there, I've had a maturation in some of these experiences. So I just wanted to write them down. Pastor Rick Warren always says to turn your pain into purpose. And so I took some of these stories that at the time had broken my heart and tried to show how I got through them with God's help, and how you might be able to too. And just to set this habit forming, maybe morning prayer, it's usually when I do it, is to go out there in the mornings and just spend, a few moments with the Lord before the craziness of the day starts. I mean, you're a young mother, so I'm sure your day starts very early. I'm in a different season of my life now with my children all grown, and we have the empty nest. But wherever you might be and all of that, it's like taking the moment, to give yourself. When we're flying, the flight attendant says, take the oxygen first before you give it to a child. And I always think of my prayer life as the oxygen first. And I like to start my day that way. So I think the thing that maybe sets this book a little apart perhaps from other devotionals is that each chapter ends with a suggestion of how to be an angel, to be an angel for someone else. And obviously, I'm not suggesting that we literally are an angel, but using rather the idea that we can show kindness, tenderness, that we can, that we can be with each other in a different way than this kind of mean-spirited, nasty way of relating to each other that seems to have taken over social media, with bullying and snarkiness and, whatever happened to encouragement and kindness. And so I wrote the book really just as a reminder of, if we want to see a change in the world, it has to begin deep inside all of us. And these aren't huge Herculean suggestions, but ways to just, be thoughtful, be intentional, be mindful, be conscious.
I think that's so important for right now, because exactly what you're saying, in the last few years, even the hardships that people have gone through, but also, how intense people are on their opinions or online and to showing to other people. And I think you're right that the greatest example we can be as Christians is to be kind to other people.
Yes, I think so. And and yet we have been called to step boldly into our faith. But I think there's a lot of very judgy opinions out there. And I think, that surely one of the essence of our faith was to love each other, to love God and to love each other. And I think we can disagree without hating each other. And so really it was just me throwing my, hat in the ring around that and saying, let's just be a bit more mindful. And in my experience, it doesn't take that much, to just to be considerate of others. And, I'm also reminded as we've come through COVID and how challenging that was for so many people. Obviously there was the physical challenges of people dying, potentially getting very ill. But I think for a lot of people, just the isolation and the loneliness, and, it heightened that for many people. And, I know I see it in my own community, people that we go to church with, people that we're in our neighborhoods. There's people that live by themselves, older people too, that maybe can't get out to the shops and stuff. And, like there's a million things you could do to show up as an angel for somebody else. And my Irish father used to say to me that love was a verb and that faith was a verb, that anybody could say, I love you, or anybody could say, I'm a believer. But it isn't really until it's put into action that we walk the walk as well as talking the talk. And so Be an Angel really has been written as a reminder, of to take that action. If you feel this now, do something for somebody else. And, we may be the angel for somebody else today, and we may need somebody else to be the angel for us tomorrow, but we have to have each other's backs, right? We all belong to each other. And so, anyway, it's a simple book, but it was written from my heart. And I'm excited to finally be able to, the publishing journey is always a curious one, and it's not, authoring is not my full-time job. My full-time job is still running Lightworkers and the production company. And we have a great film that's coming out this Easter that I certainly hope we get a chance to speak about closer to. It's called On a Wing and a Prayer with Dennis Quaid and Heather Graham. But for now, it's like Be an Angel is out at the end of this month. And, it's deeply personal, it's conversational, it's intimate. And I wrote it really hoping that it would comfort and strengthen anybody that's gone through a time of loss or grief or disappointment, anyone who's experienced heartache, which ultimately usually is just about all of us, but that there might be something in it that will be of help, not to you, than to someone you care about.
Yeah, for sure. And when you're writing it, because it's personal to you, do you feel like you grow as well when you're writing it, and your own faith helpens and grows?
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's I want to practice what I preach too. I like to anchor my prayers to the first thing in the morning. I'm an early riser. I wasn't always, but as I'm getting older, I think it's menopause has sleep and I aren't the best of friends anymore. And so I usually am up early. I'm grateful for the light when it arrives, because sometimes the dark of night, if you're worried about anything, I find it can kind of exaggerate a little bit. You're lying there in the dark and your thoughts are like a pinball machine in your head, and then finally, when you can step out and see the sun rising, it brings almost a relief with it. And that's usually when I like to, be still and know that I am God, and go into, I read my Bible, I say my prayers, and just sort of offer up my day, really, ask for help for anything that I'm challenged with, and offer the, just the energy, and all I do for you. So, but yes, I think, I've been so fortunate in my work over the last 30 years that I've really been in this, I guess you could say, the faith space through entertainment. I've been using the gifts that I've been given, but to glorify God through my work on TV, through my work in film, and now through my work in books. And, it's just, it's such a privilege, really, to be able to do so. And, I hope the book is widely read. I hope the book is widely read. But, I still feel if it's just that one person that I used to imagine when I sat down to write it. You know, if she finds it and she finds comfort in it, then it'll be a huge triumph, you know.
I'm sure that'll happen. I thank you so much for this time, and I'm excited to see what comes from it because it's so beautiful and there's so many beautiful things about it, and just the fact that you're encouraging and bringing hope to people, I think is really good.
Thank you so much, and it's always so nice to see you. All the best with your next baby, and love to your family. And we just have loved you guys and your family for so long, so thank you for always being so supportive.